Welcome, sentient beings from all known universes and beyond. It's time to activate your cranial downlinks and prepare to receive a raft of discussion on a cosmic ocean of science fiction and fantasy topics, interviews with local area genre devotees, and insightful prognostication by our soothsayers of science fiction, our forecasters of fantasy, and any other beings that happen to get caught in our gravity well. This is the Galactic Driftwood Podcast.
Boop, 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 ba-doop. Boop, 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 ba-doop. That's what we do while the music's playing. We just all dance around on our little squares.
It's a raft of discussion on a cosmic ocean.
Linda's got the old...
Linda's got some interpretive dance.
Yeah. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. I'm Bill.
I'm Linda.
Hey, I'm Seth.
And I'm Chris.
And in a similar vein to our last episode where we were talking about Constellation, we're going to talk about a very little-known con that takes place in Lyons, Nebraska. It's called CosmicCon. And the reason I say it's little known is that other than the guy that Bill Hedges, who lives there in Lyons and has the studio where Cosmicon takes place, and probably those of us on this podcast right now, and maybe less than a handful of others, no one really knows about it. It's not really advertised. There's no charge to attend, and everybody's welcome, which is awesome.
Everyone who knows about it is.
Yes. And even if you don't know about it, you would be welcome. You just wouldn't know what day to go on, I suppose. But that's kind of the beauty. That's kind of the charm of Cosmicon. So I should probably explain a little bit why that all is or what it's all about. So for those of you that haven't seen us talk about Cosmicon or Lyons, Nebraska, or Bill Hedges or Cosmic Film Studios in the past, there's a guy that lives in Lyons, Nebraska by the name of Bill Hedges. The guy is a huge Lost in Space fan, the original series from the 60s.
Mildly.
Yes.
I mean, is he really that big of a fan?
Well, he built a replica of the interior of the Jupiter 2 in his basement.
I mean, I feel like that's an average Lost in Space fan. Come on.
Okay, but then
doesn't have a replica of the Jupiter 2 in their basement?
I suppose.
A scale replica, a 1-to-1 replica that you can go and sit in. Who doesn't have that?
Right. And then to take it to the next level, he bought an abandoned movie theater in Lyons and converted it into a film studio, and he calls it Cosmic Films. He built a life-size replica of the Jupiter 2, although it's just the front half, I guess you would say, to use in his filming. So he's got that. He's also got many scale models of it. He's got memorabilia from Lost in Space going back years. So yeah, I would call him a massive Lost in Space fan, but he's doing something cool with all of that. So what he's done is he's decided to create a sci-fi YouTube series called Cosmic Cat. And he's got a cat. I think he has two cats. One's called Penny, and the other one's called Judy, I think, based on two of the characters in the original Lost in Space series. And
they are cute cats.
They are cute cats, and Penny is in the series with him. And so he does these different episodes, and they're out on YouTube, and they're, free to watch. And the special effects, it's all practical special effects, done in camera as he's filming, except, he might add, it'll be filmed in front of a green screen. So obviously he'll add, a space backdrop or whatever behind his ship. But other than that, I mean, everything's practical special effects. And so when we first found out about this guy and his studio and all this stuff that he does, I reached out to him on Facebook and asked him if we could come up and check it out. So there were probably, I think, that first year, 4 or 5, maybe 6 of us that went up for that. And then it kind of grew. And before the pandemic, I think there were about a dozen or so of us that went up to visit it. And I mean, Chris, what do you think? What that was your first trip up there. What was your impression?
It was pretty amazing of the timelessness of the items that he collected in all aspects, from movie recorders to props to everything, even things that he wasn't even sure what he was going to do with yet.
Right.
Even down to what did he have? The old like dentist type machine thing that was
right, a dental X-ray machine.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, an old dental X-ray machine.
Are you talking about that one set he has? That's
when you first walk in
else
the
I haven't
larger area, he's got this old dental machine that was there. Old dental.
Yeah, and he actually did use that in one of a recent episode, which actually isn't released yet publicly. He's going to show it in a couple of film festivals this summer. But he used that machine as a way of generating an interdimensional portal. So it becomes more like a giant portal gun.
Awesome.
And the special effects are just fantastic. So I can't wait for that to come out.
Yeah,
Linda's showing some pictures there on screen. There's the lobby of Cosmic Film Studio. Go ahead,
I'll have to dig up because I do have pictures of the machine, I think. But along those lines, he has taken so many of these different items, these ordinary old artifacts, if you will, and finds a way to reuse them and film in some manner. So his imagination is limitless, and that's amazing.
Yes,
well, I mean,
it really is.
That's how the old sci-fi shows did it.
Yeah, and I think you don't see a lot of that today. It's all CG or
right.
If it is made up, it's done to look really sleek and futuristic, and there's no originality. There's no art to it. Right? There's no use of your imagination really for that. It may not look cool in Blu-ray or 4K or whatever, but there's much more of an appreciation that goes along with
there's a charm to it.
Yes, there is a certain charm to it.
Like I mean, the original Daleks had a
plunger.
like a blender for one arm and a plunger for the other.
Yes, right.
And we don't question that. That's still in their design.
Right.
Like
it's
some guy said,
some
guy said this blender looks like a laser gun. Let's just thump that in there.
Right. Yeah. And that's exactly it. That's the charm of the whole thing. And that's the charm of his series, because he has all these props and he creates all of this stuff by hand, and the sets and everything. And he has a lot of practical sets that he uses. So this particular day, so we decided this was our first trip back up to Lyons, sort of post-pandemic. So it's been our first trip up there, I'd say, in 2 years, right? And so there were 5 of us, I think, that went up. Because Audie went up with us, and our friends Josh and Katie, and
friends of the show.
Yeah, friends of the show. And the whole point to go up there was sort of to give Bill Hedges a hand. He needed some puppeteering work, and as it turns out, also some additional assistance, starting and stopping cameras, right? And so it was pretty awesome. A lot of it was filmed in front of a green screen because he's going to add. So there he is in this particular picture there. He's showing me how he wants me to dolly the camera and start the camera, dolly it into a specific spot, and hold it for so many seconds and that sort of thing. So I was helping him do a lot of the filming of the episode because he was in the episode, so he couldn't be doing the filming behind the scene. And then that particular shot there, we were filming in front of the green screen, and then we had Katie Otten, and she was dressed head to toe in a green screen outfit so that she would vanish into the background when he did it. And so she was doing some puppeteering work with a black cat. And so Bill Hedges is interacting with the cat in this particular scene. And this particular show that he's doing, he's designing it he's running it in the theme of a rom-com. So it's going to be, a romantic comedy type of show. And each of his ones he does is a little bit different. There you see Katie in her head to toe green outfit. And it was kind of funny because with that mask on, she could see a little bit out there, but with the lights on, she couldn't see any of us behind scenes. So she didn't know where anybody was. But we had some fun. We took advantage of the green screen and her being in that outfit. And Josh Cato, he dressed up as the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who and was doing some funny stuff. And I dressed up as my Dr. Stygian Rogue steampunk character. And I had a couple of books, not really books, but more or less props from the Mummy movies. They were the Egyptian Book of Life and the Egyptian Book of Death. And so I had those, and we had I was, making like I was, using my magic powers to bring the books to me. And Katie, dressed in her green stuff, would just kind of float the book into my hands, So
I love it.
So we had a lot of fun with that. There you can see me from one particular filming. I was doing my mad doctor laugh there after I found the specific books I needed. So it was fun. We just did a lot of crazy stuff, and we got a lot of video shooting. So he set up like that particular shot. We were in kind of a jungle scene, and there were like these large Aztec pillars over the top of me, and so it was like I was in the jungle and searching for this lost tomb, which I'm in there in this particular scene. In the lost tomb, and this is where I actually find the 2 Egyptian books I'm looking for. Why those Egyptian books would be in a tomb, Aztec tomb in the South American jungles. It's the magic of cinema, right? So, but yeah,
why are they there? I don't know. Never mind.
Yeah, we don't know. It happens. So they had me doing my best lost skeleton of cadavra type of acting for a couple of scenes there. So we'll have to see how those turn out. If they come out good, we'll show them in a future episode. Josh Cato's working on kind of editing all the different clips we have together into a film that makes sense. So we'll have to see.
Like a
if it comes out pretty
documentary
good.
of what we were doing.
Yeah, we'll put it out there. But yeah, it was fun. We always Bill always jokes he creates a poster for the con, even though it's not really per se a con. But
He was like, "What kind of panels are we having?" I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, we should have some panels and grow this thing. And so we might have to do that. Who knows? Maybe Lyons, Nebraska might become a future SuperCon place.
Hey, yeah, you never know.
This is technically the second con you are involved in making, if you count what was it that we did recently? VerandaCon. That's right. Yeah, VerandaCon was fun. VerandaCon doesn't have quite as much space as Bill Hedges has in his studio for CosmicCon, but yeah, we tried. We had some panels for that. We had a good time with that, didn't we? Omaha needs a new con. Maybe we need to join forces and make the next Ozfest. Make CosmicCon
the thing to do in Omaha.
Yes. Yeah, we could even have a one day of the con could be held up in Lyons. Well, maybe the whole thing should be held up there because at least we wouldn't have to pay rental on a facility.
I don't know. Does Lyons have the sort of hotel
No.
infrastructure we'd need for
We have to stay at Omaha.
No, but I would wager that Bill Hedges would be able to find us a plot of farmland that people could set tents up on.
I'm sorry,
Right?
but I do not think that sleeping in a tent is part of my ideal con experience.
I mean, you're close enough.
Well, CosmicCon is a different kind of con. It's not for everybody.
Well, that's because you aren't sharing it with everyone. You're just like, CosmicCon is ours and ours alone.
It's mine. Yeah, but
that's cool.
Yeah,
that is really awesome.
Nice little what? That's
DeLorean.
About what, a foot long DeLorean from Back to the Future.
Did he build that?
Yeah, I think it was a model.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
for
he
our
built that
audio
one.
listeners. Well, yeah, we are looking at a really awesome model of the DeLorean, just incredibly detailed.
He has more than one.
That's way more than a foot long.
I do believe he has more than one.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That is so damn cool.
I don't have the pictures from my last visit. Oh no, I do. I don't have this one in particular. So, but I do believe I recall seeing more than one because I took a lot of pictures last I was there.
Yeah, it's hard not to because there's so much to see and take pictures of.
Yes.
Yeah, that his basement is probably one of the coolest basements on Earth.
Fact.
Well, he's got a movie. He built a movie theater in the basement.
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
We've had that before.
Like,
on here.
not-
We've talked
Yeah.
about that.
I don't think you're doing that justice because, like, people are thinking, oh, he built a big screen to watch the movies from. No, this is a movie theater a la what you would have experienced pre-1990s.
Yeah.
Complete with the seats, the
sloped floor,
a full-on curtain that pulls the sides, a screen that is way bigger than anything you'd see elsewhere. Like this,
right?
This
and
theater
the ceiling of the theater is like all a star field made with little LEDs that when they dim the lights down, the star field's just lit up there. And it's
not just for show. We sat there and we watched a film in there.
And it's not just the theater either. He has a box office and a concession area.
Right. And also, as Seth will no doubt recall from their first trip up there, if you come into the main floor of the house and you go into one of the bedrooms there's a bookcases along the wall, and you can pull a book out that'll trip a switch and the bookcase will slide open. And then you go in there and there's a ladder and a hole that descends down. Yeah.
A legitimate secret passage
that leads down into the backstage where that theater is.
Yep.
And that was the time where Seth and Jenna weren't sure that we weren't taking them out there to murder them because we just kept going and going. And
we hadn't been part of the podcast for too long, and we were just following these strangers out into the middle of rural Nebraska, and
like a
Jen
children
and I were
born kind of a thing.
Jen and I were riding together, and she's like, "Seth, don't let me get separated from the group." And
what did she do?
the instant she saw the secret passageway, she left us and just like went blindly down into this tunnel. Could have been an
and it was just
bet.
a black hole at that time leading down into the bay because he hadn't turned on the lights down there. She's gone.
She's like, "You got my back, Seth," and he's like, "Not anymore."
Well, she didn't even say you got my back. She was just gone.
Gone.
And I was like, well, Jenna's gone, and I guess if she's the first one to die in this horror movie, I'm just going to leave.
But it turned out to be a great thing, right?
It did indeed. Nobody died.
And not only does he have the movie theater in his basement, but he's also got a 1950s diner. We already talked about the interior of the Jupiter 2 spaceship that he's got there with working lights and the windscreen of it, the bridge of it looks out onto this scenery that he's created that he can change from day to night to storms. He's got lightning and thunder that can flash across the sky. I mean, that just alone would have been amazing. But he's also then got a little mad scientist lab right outside of that, so he can do a mad scientist area thing. It's incredible, and that's just in his home.
Yeah,
we haven't even talked about too much about the stuff he's got at the studio, which of course we mentioned the front half of the Jupiter 2 full scale that you can actually go inside. He's got this Egyptian tomb, and now this will be interesting. So you guys remember the Egyptian tomb there, and the outside wall of it looks like, the outside wall of a tomb. And it's got this section of it where you can push and the giant bricks will move to the side and you can walk in and out of the tomb this way, right? Now, this thing is on a ball bearing pivot thing. So it's so easy to move. You can almost move it just by breathing on it. I mean, it doesn't take anything to move it at all. So when we were in there filming this past weekend, I was like being careful as I was, on film, feeling around. Careful? Well, I was trying to be careful for the crack so that when I, in quotes, discovered the crack, and pushed on the door, it would open. But that as I was discovering the crack, I wouldn't accidentally lean into it or brush against it enough to cause it to open. And so I did that the first time. And then Bill Hedges says, well, wait a second. If you're going to do that, he said, let's do this. And we closed the door and he went and he got one of those, basement concrete cement blocks and put on the other side of it, laying on its side, so that not only did it give some resistance to opening the door, but the sound of it scraping across the concrete floor of the studio made it sound like you were actually opening the tomb. It was incredible. I would never have thought of that.
So cool.
Yeah.
There's this right. Right now we're looking. Go. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Right now we're looking at the interior of the Jupiter 2 that he has in his basement, and we got Josh Cato in his 10th Doctor outfit sitting there in the chair in front of the front windscreen of the Jupiter 2 looking out. But yeah, I mean, it's just this kinds of things that he thinks of and he comes up with that, like when we were filming in the jungle scene, he's like, oh, hold on. He goes, let me get this light here. And, he's setting up these lights, colored lights with, different colored filters to change the look of the scene. And he gets it all set up. And we got kind of like a blue and a red light. And he goes, oh, no, wait a minute. It's a rainforest. This one should be green. And he's swapping that one out, and just making it look really fantastic. And it's just great fun to be there with him, working with him and trying to see how he does all of this kind of thing. What was it? 3, maybe 4 weeks ago, I think we were up there, Linda. He was filming a scene for another show, another Cosmic Cat episode that he's doing that's more like a psychological thriller. And so in that one, he's got this VW bus, looks like a hippie van, really. And that's the I don't know what you call it. It's kind of like his version of a moon buggy that is in the spaceship that he flies around in with his cat. And in this particular episode, he's on this strange planet driving around in this space buggy. And he wanted to get some drone footage because he's driving through this farm field. But if he was driving with a camera, the camera would be jostling all over the place. It'd be hard to keep it really level in a situation like that. So he's like, yeah, would you be willing to come up and shoot some drone footage? And so we went up there and spent an afternoon up there with him out in the field, out in the farm field there, running along some tree line, getting some footage, and he needed some parallel footage of going along. And then he needed some footage at a 45-degree angle forward and backwards so that he can take different cuts. And then he's going to have his van parked in the studio, and he'll green screen all that footage that I took in behind it. Nice. And I even got to do a little bit of acting as an alien on the planet that day, which was kind of fun as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Always look forward to going up there and seeing what Bill's up to, the latest gadgets that he's made, and the plans that he's doing, and different shows he's got. And I mean, he storyboards all this stuff out.
Oh,
and
it's amazing.
Pulls out the storyboard and then, give you an idea what he's looking for in that particular scene. And so it was pretty fun. Josh was like, he was saying, next time you come up, he'll hook up he's got this harness where you can, be suspended from the ceiling in front of the green screen. And then he can drive the apparatus forward and backward and left and right, to get the kind of motion he needs for a particular scene. And Josh Cato was like, hey, that'd be great. I could wear my Superman outfit up there. And, he's going around. And Bill's like, well, yeah, we can do that. But he said, you might not want to, because you got to wear the harness kind of under your suit, and we got to poke holes in it for the wires to go out. And I'm not sure you want to poke holes in your suit. And Josh was like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Yeah. So there's his van on screen now. And that's the night we were out there shooting the scenes, the different footage for the alien scene. And he's already edited together some of that footage and just put some samples out on Facebook to share, just to show and I give an idea of what it's going to look like when it's done. So it was kind of fun. I was a little rusty because I hadn't played with my drone since last fall, and this was the first outing this spring with it. So we did have a slight incident because rather than
you mean a crash?
Well, yeah, a crash. Because rather than run the whole length of the field myself, I would just we parked where it was convenient, and then I flew the drone over to where the tree line was. And then I'm flying along the tree line. Well, when you're doing the parallel view, I don't have collision sensors on the side of my drone.
Oh, no.
And so I was going sideways with it, and I went a little bit too far and ran into another set of trees. Oh. So we actually had to run up there and try to find the drone, which we did.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't really damaged at all. I mean, okay. I was still able to fly it with the blades it crashed with. So,
what kind of drone, Bill?
It's a DJI. It's DJI? A DJI Mavic Pro 2, and so yeah, it hit the tree and fell down. Kind of fell on its head, and so I'm trying to find it by looking at the display on my controller. And of course, everything's upside down, and so then I'm trying to see when I can see myself getting into the frame. So that was kind of fun.
Stop walking. Stop walking.
I see myself now. Where am I seeing myself? Yeah. And then you're trying to get to it, but it's all reversed. So I'd go to the left thinking I needed to go, but I needed to go to the right. But anyway, we finally found it. No real harm done. Got a couple of nicks in a couple of the blades, but nothing that wouldn't keep it from flying. So we managed to finish our shooting that day, and looking forward to seeing that come out on a future show. So yeah, if you're want to see some of his work, I would go out to YouTube, do a search for Cosmic Films Studios, And you should be able to see a lot of the different stuff that he has out there, a lot of examples of some of his shows and even the shows himself, some of the test footage that he's done with his spacecraft models out in space and whole 9 yards. So, but he's also on Facebook, Bill Hedges, Hedges. What's that, Seth?
We'll put links in the description.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we'll do that. So anyway, great. It was great fun. Maybe one of these days we can open it up and get a larger crowd up there and maybe do at least a full 1 day CosmicCon event, have some panels. Some
the only
food.
trouble is the only restaurant that was there, they closed.
Oh no.
There is nothing in line.
Oh no.
Yeah. Might have to truck something in.
We should see if Bill would like to do some crowd work.
Crowd work?
Yeah, lots of extras.
Oh, yeah. That's possible. You give him an idea and he'll come up with a show for it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, cool. Well, I think that's about it for this episode. So thank you all for tuning in and listening. I hope you're intrigued by what you heard about Cosmic Film Studios, and you'll check them out online. If you like what you see there, give him a like, give him a subscription so you can see when he comes out with his next little episodes in the Cosmic Cats series. So appreciate y'all tuning in this time, and we will catch you next time on the Galactic Driftwood podcast. Take care and bye-bye.
Bye.
There.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Galactic Driftwood podcast. For more information and past episodes, please visit our website at galacticdriftwood.space or subscribe to us on YouTube. And now, please deactivate your cranial downlinks, collect your towels, and be sure to watch your step as you exit our gravity well.